partners, with our military leaders and intelligence personnel, with our diplomats and our development experts, with the Congress and the Vice President, as well as with Mr. Ghani and many others around the world, I've concluded that it's time to end America's longest war. It's time for American troops to come.
Let's bring in now Torek Farhadi and speak with him about the U.S. troop withdrawal. He is the former advisor to the Afghan government, and he joins me now from Geneva. Tarek, thanks so much for coming in on the show and for your time, as always. Now, how will the post-war future of Afghanistan and the region look like following the troops pull out? I mean, let's not forget, America invaded Afghanistan 20 years ago to fight terrorism, but the Taliban and the Al-Qaeda are still very much present in Afghanistan.
Yes, terrorism is not finished in Afghanistan. The people of Afghanistan have a sour taste of terrorism every day. As your report just said, there was rockets landing on a recital in Kunar, Afghanistan a few days ago, and last night there was a car bomb in Logar in Afghanistan. In both cases, it targeted young students. So a proxy war is starting in Afghanistan as the superpower is exiting. And the superpower, the United States, when it came in, it didn't ask anybody if it should come in. And when it goes out, it doesn't really ask anybody to make peace. In other words, Joe Biden decided to leave Afghanistan without any preconditions. So it leaves a war zone now for the Afghans. The international forces are retreating. They had said we would stay with you forever, but in fact they are retreating, and the war zone now goes back to the Afghans. There is no guarantee that any peace talks which might start would give any quick results.
Right, and as you were mentioning, and we were mentioning through our coverage, the number of attacks in Afghanistan has been increasing in the past couple of months already. What does Afghanistan need to do right now for the country to be stable again? What can the Afghan government do, and can they do anything?
Both sides of the peace negotiations need to make concessions in order to stop the fighting. But this conflict and other conflicts in the world show that the people who are in the fight are the least likely to make concessions. And in fact, when peace negotiations start under the auspice of the United Nations, it will take years for any solution which will still be a half-cooked solution. In Libya, peace talks took 9 years.
Right. Al-Qaeda already reacted to the troop pullout. They rarely react. This time they did. They claim the war is far from over. Does this mean the Afghanistan is free for Al-Qaeda once again?
Al-Qaeda is much weakened now. It's a weak organization. But the Taliban, in fact, caused the Americans to leave, and Al-Qaeda is taking the credit to give some good spirits to its troops around the world. That's why Al-Qaeda spoke. Al-Qaeda is everywhere in Africa, in the Middle East, in Afghanistan. They are not as strong as they were before, and the world is much protected from them because the world over the last 2 decades has built its defenses against Al-Qaeda type attacks.
Right, and it's been 10 years since the killing of bin Laden. How different is the situation in the region and in Afghanistan now? And how will this new phase, Joe Biden's phase of war on terror, look like now?
Well, yes, bin Laden was finally found in Pakistan 10 years ago. But before his death, he had become irrelevant because the region had become militarized. And when the region becomes militarized, all kinds of other small wars start. Then the people who wage the war have their financial interests to continue this war. So I expect that with the exit of the US troops, unfortunately, the region will still have years of uncertainty ahead.
Torek Farhadi, thanks so much for that. He is the former advisor to the Afghan government, and he was live for us from Geneva. Thanks so much.